Welcome everybody, and thank you all so much for joining us here at this very special occasion, the reception for Aisling and Tom's brother. We're just so pleased to be here. It really is a wonderful, wonderful occasion. I want to start off just by, first of all, by just saying some words of thanks, because if there's anything that Karen and I feel we are just so thankful in our life for everything that's happened, and today is a huge day of thanks. Thanks so much to everybody for coming. It really makes this special. Even though it's very strange circumstances, this feels wonderful, doesn't it? It feels amazing. Yes. Somebody said this was not just a roller coaster of a wedding, but a roller coaster and a ghost train all in one. But actually, I don't think today has been. It's been just wonderful. So thank you all for coming. It's been amazing. Thank you for everybody who's taken part in the service. It was really great. Please pass on my thanks to Lawrence. It's such a shame he can't be here, but thank him so much for everything that he's done. Thank you for Tom and to Tara for doing their job so well. Didn't they do great? Yeah. It was brilliant. We are so thankful. I want to thank the Dickin family as well. Just so wonderful, really, to be here in this wonderful. But for putting this on, it's been great. So thank you so much. I want to thank especially Heart Church for investing in Aisling over these years. Yeah. It's been wonderful to see Aisling grow to be the woman of God that she was. And she did that under the mentoring and the care and the love and the support from everybody in Heart Church. Please pass on our thanks.
Amen. Yes, I will.
And to God for making this all possible, for giving us two wonderful daughters, and for this day that He's brought us to this position. We are so thankful. But it's my job to say a few words about Aisling. So Aisling Rachel Pigott was born on the 10th of November 1997. And with that, our lives changed forever. What a bundle of chaos was brought into our life on that day. And for those of you who don't know Aisling, I just tell you a little bit about her and just give you a little bit of a flavour as to what she is like and why we're so proud of her. Aisling went through various phases in her life. There was the photography phase that she did, and I think, Joanna, you agree that wasn't quite so bad. I mean, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? That's it. Do you remember that?
A-level.
A-level photography. It was amazing. The next phase, of course, was, as is compulsory, the Peppa Pig phase, where she quickly grew out of that, but not as quickly as she grew out of her next phase, the gym phase. I'm not sure how long that lasted, but it wasn't terribly long at all. And then, of course, the next phase was the lockdown phase, where she developed all these new skills. For example, she developed skills of painting and of hammocking. So if those of you who don't know, it's just lounging around in the sun in a hammock. And she does that exceptionally well. And then, of course, there was the Joe phase. Well, we thought it was a phase, but we weren't quite sure. But more about that a little later on. Aisling loved travel, and we have very many examples of fantastic holidays that we've spent together when we've been travelled, and we've had the privilege of seeing some beautiful places and being in some amazing situations. But actually, when I look back over Aisling's photographs and the photographs that Aisling had took, I noticed actually that most of her pictures were not about the places she'd been to. They were about the people she had been with and she had met there. And Nicole mentioned this in her prayer earlier on, that Aisling was so focused on people. And I realised when I was looking through those photographs, I realised that when she went to Italy to meet up with a missionary organisation, our missionaries that we'd sent out there, and to help them out. When she went to Spain, she went there to help some people in a local church to do a summer outreach. When she went to Mexico and to Chile, she went there to learn about how she could serve others and to put that into practice by actively serving others by doing different projects. And even when she went to Germany, she went there to Germany just so she could be with people. She wasn't even studying German on her German exchange that she went to school with. So for Aisling, it's really all about people. And that's Aisling through and through, a people person. And you never knew when you came home how many people you would find in the house that Aisling would have brought in. You never knew how many people she would have brought back for tapas or marshmallows around the fire pit or a Bible study. And when you went to collect her from the youth group, Destiny, you never quite knew how many people would clamber into the car because she'd offered them a lift home. She was always about the people. Aisling's passion for people inspires me, and it makes me so proud. But now, if we must, back to Joe.
We don't have to.
I remember the first time Joe came on the scene. I was out, I was going for a run or something. I came back and there was about 20 Destiny kids out having a barbecue. And my barbecue had just been completely trashed and set on fire to the extent that the fire extinguisher, which had sat there for 15 years unused, was now thoroughly used. It was a proper fire. From that day on, I had my eye on Joe. I kept my eye on him. But it wasn't until Aisling was preparing to go on that 5-month trip to Mexico that I realized something was up. And we got a text from Joe. Joe was preparing to write a book full of memories from people back home that Aisling could actually just dip into to remember the people back home. And Joe sent us this text. And it read like this. It said, 14 December 2016. Hi, this is Joe Dickin, one of Aisling's good friends. Exclamation mark. And I thought, one of Aisling's good friends, fine. Exclamation mark, not fine. What is this exclamation mark? And from that point on, I knew that things were going to be different. Karen and I are so proud of Aisling and of Tara and the women of God that they've become. And as our family moves into a new phase, I am delighted to welcome Joe to the family. Joe, you're made for Aisling. This is not something that Karen and I just say. This is something we believe. And I know, speaking to Andy and Sarah, that they believe that too. You are made for each other. God has brought you two together. And you complement each other so well. You balance each other out. You are better together than apart. And that, with God at the center of it all, is a wonderful start to a marriage. To close, I'd just like to share one word of advice to you, and it's been the guiding principle for Karen and me throughout our lives, throughout our married life together. And I love the song that you chose this morning, a song that talked about the goodness of God and the faithfulness of God. And this has been our guiding principle. And Karen and I came to Nottingham 29 years ago nearly, and we had very little. We had 2 suitcases. We had £2,000 in a bank account. We knew nobody. We really had just come to a foreign place, and between us we only had one job, giving £5,500 a year. But we came. And we came because we felt it was the right thing to do. We came because we felt God was guiding. And we came because we felt that God was in control and that He knows what He's doing. And I was also delighted that Tom, in the stag night, and of course anything that happens on a stag night remains very confidential, but I will share this with you. We did have a quiz for Joe, didn't we? And the very first question on the quiz was this verse here. And this is what I would just leave with you as the guiding principle, which I wish for you too in your married life, which is this: trust in the Lord with all your heart. You know, if you trust in your own strength, you'll mess up. We always do. But we truly believe that God will never let us go. Do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. And I know that will be true for you in a marriage as well.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, shall we just stand and toast the bride and groom? Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Aisling and Joe.
Aisling, Joe.
Cheers.
Darryl.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you, Darryl, and it was with regret that I now have to introduce my own brother to come and speak to us. But for once in his life, we actually have to listen to him. So, Joe Dickin!
Yeah, thank you everybody for coming. I think firstly, like in strange circumstances, and it feels really actually quite normal and awesome that this is the group of people that I'm speaking to. And I think that's something that was quite difficult to comprehend or think about like a few months ago, when it was like, oh, maybe we'll get married and there won't be any celebration, it'll just be us two and maybe us 8, but maybe even not that, maybe nothing at all. And actually this is far more special in many ways than I could have expected at the start of our family together, that we can celebrate with this side of the family, and then in a couple of days we can celebrate with the other half of the family as well. And that, to me at least, is as special as it could be, that we get to use those building blocks to continue. So yeah, thank you for being here, thank you for coming and yeah, making the journeys, and yeah, and also thank you for everybody, Mum and Dad and Tom and Darryl and Karen and Tara and Aisling especially, for setting up and helping plan everything, because it's been crazy. You know, when we were reading all the blogs, like I was saying to some people earlier, reading all of the guides on like how to plan a wedding, and it tells you how far in advance you're supposed to have things, like have the venue booked, have spoken to this person, given them this jobs, and we're about 6 months to 12 months to 18 months behind on every single one of those marks, because everything's come together in the last 4 to 5 weeks. And that yeah, and that for it to look as amazing and feel as special as it does is yeah, something that we're amazed with. So yeah, there's so many people who have been involved, and actually loads who really aren't here, unfortunately, but yeah, we're thinking of them, and yeah, and we're just incredibly grateful for everybody. And yeah, and thank you to Kate and Tam as well, who have given up their day to make it special. Thank you to the French restaurant, in spite of police work going on Mansfield Road and road closures or what have you, we still got fed. Yeah, and thank you for everybody else who's been involved. So, but ultimately I want to thank a few, and thank you for Joanna and Nathan doing photos and videos. Yeah, we're really grateful for that. But yeah, there are a few people that I want to thank, especially so. Firstly to Tom and to Tara for being our amazing siblings. I'm speaking for us both here. Yeah, just for being there. Thank you, Tom, for being as similar to me as possible so that I can get on with somebody in many ways, for having similar interests, for the fact that I can grow up, and when I want to get you a birthday present or someone asks me something like that, it's like, oh, I'll just get what I want and then give it to you. It's made it really easy that I've had that.
A lot of Lego.
No Lego.
And thank you, Tara, for welcoming me really fantastically, for always coming downstairs and chatting to me when I come down, because I really value that when I've arrived, and I've valued, getting to know you, and I'm excited to get to know you much further over the next few years. Hopefully more trips like the Norway one, and and hopefully we'll get lots of awesome places together. And thank you, Darryl and Karen, for raising such an amazing daughter. Thank you. You've done such a fantastic job, and I'm sorry when she gives you a hard time, when she refuses to do certain stuff that you'd like her to do, or when she's difficult, but you guys, you've raised such an amazing woman of God, and you've raised such an amazing daughter, and I'm so immensely grateful for that. But I'm further grateful for inviting me in, like you just said, and that has been something that I really don't take for granted. I don't say thank you enough for taking me to Norway, for inviting me on that a family holiday, and for inviting me in around the dinner table, and not bizarrely like now at a place where I'm not just treated like a guest and I'm pampered. It means that I can feel fully relaxed and welcome, and just thank you for welcoming me in, for being so amazing, and for praying rings around Aisling but also rings around me like that. That's just more than I could have ever dreamt of. And I'm so grateful. So thank you. And thank you, Mum and Dad, for... Sorry. No, you've been...
See where he gets it from.
I'm sorry. No, thank you for... I've got one. No, thank you for setting such an amazing example for me and for Tom in so much of what you do, everything that you do. I thank you, Dad, for again being quite similar to me, so that I can learn from when you muck up. It's quite handy. A lot of lessons there that I've accumulated. No, thank you, Mum, for putting up with us 3 boys in the house. Thank you, and I'm sorry for when I take the mick out of you. But and I'm sorry for when I get you into trouble, Dad. But I'm grateful now that blame can't be pinned on me anymore, because I'm going. So when it still happens, hopefully you'll realise that it wasn't just me. But thank you for setting such an amazing example of family for me. So immensely grateful for that, and I think that I've grown up with all of these people around, that family is something that is so foundational to us, that it's so important. And I thank you that when me and Aisling take that forward, that's going to be continually the case. I'm so grateful that we can build lives around such an amazing and such a strong family. And I'm just thankful for everything that you guys do, for making us sit around the dinner table and have dinner there most of the time instead of out from the TV. And I thank you that that's been such an important thing for you, that you have valued having people around, that you've valued welcoming people around your lives, because it's just something that I guess without you guys wouldn't be so natural for me, because I guess I am more, I'm not an introvert at all really, but I'm more introverted than you guys. But you've set such an amazing example for me with that, and it's probably because of that I've grown up with that I feel so drawn to this amazing woman that, like so many people have mentioned, you're so loving and so friendly, that you just, that before I knew you as someone who would be there and welcoming everyone into church, and you probably welcomed me to events far before I knew you, and you're always so smiley and so happy around people. And the more that I've got to know you, the more that I've noticed that that's not a front, that's not just a fake smile just because that's your job, but you are genuinely so desperate to make people feel welcome, to make people feel at home, and that's how you make me feel so often, that I can feel relaxed to be myself, that you draw out the best bits of me, that you, just make me feel, you make me feel the most Joe Dickin that I can feel. And whilst everyone else might be disappointed by that, I couldn't be more grateful. You look absolutely beautiful. And sometimes I can't believe that you put up with me. But thank you so much for being my wife, for being Mrs. Dickin for me. And I'm so excited for all the time that we're going to spend together. So I'm going to... Sorry, I can't nick yours. So I'm going to raise a glass. I'm going to raise it to you. I'm going to raise a glass to Aisling Pigott. To Aisling Dickin. Hey.
Well done, Joe.
I'll try and not be like these two and hold us up by crying my eyes out the whole time. So fortunately for you guys, we are near the end of sitting down listening to people, but unfortunately you are just left with me. So for those of you that don't know me, I've got the joint honours of being not only the best man, but the groom's younger brother. And with living with Joe, and I don't know why he said being similar to Joe, I'm not happy with that at all. But, I've come to get a lot of respect for Joe. We're getting there early because, it's not necessarily been easy for Joe with this. Getting a lot of sort of respect from him because it is difficult having a younger brother that's just so much better than you in every way imaginable. I don't know how you've dealt with that. I certainly wouldn't be able to. But that's where all of my respect for you comes from, obviously. But as mentioned by these guys, it's so nice to have a small family wedding. I know that we all would have loved a party with 200 odd people, but it's so nice to have a nice small event, as I'm sure it will be on Sunday. Very excited to try and learn a whole load of names that I will forget as soon as I learn them. And thank you, Pigotts, you three, and Aisling, for having a wedding with just our rabble that have come along, rather than having all of your own family here. I know that we are both, and Mum and Dad are both excited to do this again on Sunday in Ireland. The negative about having a small wedding is, I shouldn't have said negative because now you're going to get the wrong impression. But we've only got one bridesmaid here today, so we're going to embarrass her. Can we have a minute for Tara? How amazing does she look? Normally I'd plan to make a joke about if there are any single people, but we're all family and it's just a bit weird if you get into that. So we'll leave that alone, for now. The fact that Darryl and Lawrence have both alluded to Lego in their times today sort of shows, because in the car on the way to church this morning, Joe was reading an article named Surprise Lego Build of the Week. He had that on his phone on the way there. So Aisling, thank you for putting up with him. But what can I tell you about Joe that you might not already know? Obviously it's only family, so I have to think real deep here. If there were loads of people, they might not know him, so I could make something up. But I've heard Joe speak for longer about a new bit of Lego than he just spent speaking about his wife here. Joe has once arranged his own birthday party where we did a Star Wars movie marathon in the day. Great, happy with that, I loved it. And people started arriving as soon as sort of 10-15 minutes towards the end of the last film. Came in, see Aisling hospitable as we know, and myself got drinks for everyone, started the party going. As soon as the film had finished, Joe went up and got into bed. But I'm really hoping that he doesn't go and do this tonight when other friends arrive. So I don't know if that shows anything about his priorities. I hope it doesn't, but there we go. Actually, I don't know whether it was the same night as the barbecue fiasco that Darryl mentioned. Sorry, it's Karen and Darryl.
Yes.
How am I going to hope with your families on Sunday? I have no idea. But I have seen Joe have the biggest of all strops at the Pigott's house. I'm not sure whether it was the same night as the barbecue night, but they were staring at the floor. They were teary eyes almost as much as they were here a minute ago. And all because England lost a football game.
That was the same night.
It was the same night.
Iceland. Yes.
England lost a football game, and Joe nearly didn't come on our family holiday to Iceland a couple of months later. And as Joe alluded to a minute ago, Aisling has had an amazing effect on Joe. I'll tell a little story about when we were in France. There was this beautiful place, it's actually near one of the pictures that showed up on the slides earlier, of this amazing waterfall. And it is glacial and the water's so cold, but occasionally when it's 35 degrees outside, Dad and myself might think, yeah, let's get some swimming shorts on, let's go in for a minute or two and cool off. And Joe, this is 2020, a man can be what they want, but isn't the manliest of men, shall we say. He would always be there, dip his toe in, sort of running. It's like, imagine a 3-year-old on the beach running in and then running back out. It would be a bit like that. And one year, we took Aisling to France with us. Sorry, there's some people waving teddies at me in that window, and it's very distracting. Sorry, they've gone away now, they've gone away. Are they tuned into this mic? Did they hear that I was doing that? But Aisling came with us on this holiday, and we decided that we were going to go to this waterfall. And before we were out of the car, I'm pretty sure Joe had his swimming shorts on, shirt off, charged into this waterfall as if to say, look at me, I'm as strong as it gets. But I think, well, you guys won't have seen this because you only really see Joe around Aisling. But if you've seen the proposal video, you'll know the effect that Aisling has on Joe. I mean, thank you for making him at least a little bit tolerable. Like, it's amazing what's happened. But despite all of those things that we will joke about you and say, despite having to listen to you give a 10-minute review on an album that I don't care about as we wash up, whatever it may be, you have dealt with a lot, and whether it be getting 4 years into a medicine degree, whether it be getting ill and having health issues throughout that, whether it be loving the people that are here today and all of your friends that will be here this evening and many more, and prioritising the things that are valued to you. There's a lot of respect that can be put on that. You only have to have seen Joe play football once to know that even if there's not that much grace in what he does, that he will battle and battle and battle all the way through it. And whether that's through good times, whether that's because it's going amazingly or because it's going poorly, there's a lot that can be respected about you and a lot that we can take from you in how to just keep on going and getting through things. And I believe that for your last year of your medicine degree and your 2 years as a junior doctor and being husband for, we hope, many, many years. Until death parts us, I believe, was the quote earlier. So yeah, we all, I know that it's the same for these three, Mum and Dad, that we are so proud of you for battling through everything and showing the perseverance you have done. Yeah. And I can't really carry on without saying anything about Aisling. I've got a sister. What an amazing opportunity. I was told when I was 2 hours asked if I wanted another little brother or sister, and I don't know if what I said, but I'm so grateful to have a sister now. People have said loads of things about Aisling, but what I find so key is that I don't think anyone has ever found anything negative to say about her. There is nothing that you could say that would be like, oh, Aisling's not like this, she's not like that. She's just so loving of people. I know that Joe said it, Darryl said it, Lawrence said it earlier, and that's because it's true. The only flaw I can see has to be your taste in men. But I'm proud of you both through uni, through health issues, through I don't know how many months of long distance relationships, that you've got through it, and here we are today. So I, for one, I'm very grateful that we've seen that happen, as I'm sure everyone else is, in getting to know you, Aisling, and I'll say the same about you, Joe, on Sunday. My one worry is that in 3 days' time I need to find more nice things to say about you. If anyone's got anything, let me know. But we are so grateful to have you in our lives. We're so proud of you both for how you've got through this all. So for the final time today, can we please raise a glass to Mr. and Mrs. Dickin? And Mrs. Dickin. Well, that's... I can't exactly give myself an exit, so thank you.
This is going to be a clean speech. Ha ha ha. Put on there. No, in all seriousness, I asked my brother Trevor, if I could borrow his comedy jacket for my speech. But I thought there is no way I can live up to his comedy credentials, so I'm wearing my just Darryl jacket, so no, it's okay. Thank you very much. What, grey and boring? Yeah, okay. Thanks, Trev. Perhaps if everybody would like to, I'm going to do a little toast a little later on. If everybody would like to make sure they've got a glass of something just in front of them. There's plenty of water and stuff on the tables if anybody needs anything else. Water is absolutely fine. Just to tip you off on that. But it's not going to be one of those sort of really witty speeches, because for me this is a really important day. This is a really solemn day, but it's also a really joyful day, and we're just so very, very thankful. And that's what I want to start off with, really, is just a word of thanks. Thanks to everybody, first of all, for coming. And I know it's been a really sort of strange sort of time. It's been, in many ways, a roller coaster. And, you know, I was chatting to Charlene earlier on, and Charlene, she said it's been a roller coaster and it's been a ghost train all in one. And in many ways it was. But actually, when you think back to last Thursday, when Aisling and Joe got married, that day was just perfect. That was not a ghost train or a roller coaster at all. That was just a perfect day. And I have not heard anybody who has said anything. I have heard many people who said it's the best wedding they have been to ever. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful day. And we get to do it again today. You know, and that's just brilliant, isn't it? Together again, you know, and to repeat this. And the weather forecast that we had 3 days ago was for pretty much all day rain. And I know we're in Ireland and all of that, but this is brilliant, isn't it? And this venue, this garden, this tent, it just feels so, so good. And to have everybody here together to celebrate this day just feels nothing like a ghost train. It just feels so, so good. So thank you everybody for coming. Thank you everybody for being part of this occasion. It's been really, really special. There's a few thanks that I want to give, and I said to myself, actually the emotional bit is all gone on Thursday, but I can feel myself going already. But I just wanted to thank particularly the Dickins. These guys have been great. These guys have opened their home to Aisling, but opened the home to everybody last Thursday when we had such a wonderful time in their back garden, and we had it was just amazing. And in particular, the fact that everybody just went at 11 o'clock and disappeared and left a mess and a half for these guys to clear up all day on Friday. And I just want to thank you guys so much for doing that. That was just brilliant. Can we give them a round of applause for that? That was above and beyond. That was above and beyond. And just, they did it such a servant heart for both of them. I just thank you so much. I've already said thank you for how you've invested in Ashling and that. But I want to say it again in front of these guys here as well. You know, you've invested so much in Ashling. And I know you've invested in Joe over the years, but for me as a father, for what you've done for Ashling has just been wonderful. So we thank you so much. It's been lovely. But I want to thank some other people as well. I just want to thank Joanna. You've been great too. Can we give Joanna a round of applause as well? She's I mean, these photographers, they're all so highly strung and arty-farty, and you know, they really are just ideas above their stations. I know all of that. Are you recording this, Joanna? Okay, thank you. But Joanna has been just brilliant all the way through. One of the worst things about weddings for me is just sitting there waiting for the photographs, and it goes on and on forever. Joanna knows exactly what she's doing. She's bush, bash, bosh, everybody through, and she's there in the background just doing these little, and I've seen some of your work, Joanna, and it's wonderful. So we thank you so much for everything that you're doing and your patience with us. It's been brilliant. Thank you so much. But I want to thank as well Keane and Tom. Tom and Keane, which way do we do it? What can I say? Can we give them a round of applause? They've been doing such a great job today, just making sure we all know what we're doing. We're all in the right place. And you guys are just, you know, you're better together than you are apart. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. Thank you. There's a big, long relationship in that, but we won't go into that for now. Oh dear, I'm talking too much, and I've not got my notes up now. Where was I? Somebody's done a lot of work on this. There's a lot of people done a lot of work on this. I see it. What is this I see before me? This is amazing. Nicole, take a bow for Nicole. That cake just looks good enough to eat. So thank you so much. But I think today also I just want to thank so much. Hello, and this has been such a weird wedding for Karen and I, because we've done nothing. We've done nothing when the Dickins put on the wonderful occasion last Thursday, and we've done very, very little for today as well. And I just know that so many people have done so much. But I particularly want to thank Trev and Charlene for opening their home and for having the vision to do this. Thank you so much. It's been just wonderful. Just amazing the way that you just so lovingly and enthusiastically embrace this occasion in the current circumstances. It's wonderful. I want to thank Neville and Hazel Ann as well, please, because they've done such a great job as well in the practical matters, in the lighting, and I know Hazel has been always there in the background with the ideas and the creativity and everything. And I don't know how long did it take Hazel to iron those tablecloths yesterday. I counted 4 hours. So, you know, if you've got a wrinkle on your tablecloth, that's not Hazel's fault. That is definitely not. So thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. It's been all such a blessing. So, though I'm sure I've missed other people out, but thank you all for coming. It's been really, really very, very special to us, and I'm so glad that we could all share this day together. So, one of the things I enjoyed most really about this whole week and the build up to the whole wedding was the ability to just look back and just think of memories and look back over old photos and just come to mind. Are you off, Karen? Yeah. Sorry, darling. I'll stop. and just bring to mind just some, wonderful things of the past. And I've been talking to a few people about memories of Aisling and the past and things we've done together and all of that. And I'd like to maybe share a few of those with you all before. But before I do, there's something else I need to do. Joe, you may have noticed that actually, up to now, you've not been a fully blown Pigott family member. You're not on the Pigott family WhatsApp, are you? You're not. He's not been let in yet. And the reason for that, Joe, is quite simply, quite a few things, really. Number one, you're English. And we've never had an English person in the family. We've had a bit of Scots, we've had a bit of French, we've had a bit of South African. Aisling's even studied the family tree, haven't you? Yeah. So there is, I'm not sure if you're aware, Joe, but there is actually, in Irish weddings, an initiation ceremony that you need to go through before you go through this. So we're not going to go back to the stag night, Joe, so don't worry about that, okay? But what I thought I'd do is, I thought I'd combine the memories of Aisling with the initiation of Joe. And just bring out a few things. And I'm going to ask you some questions, Joe. And if you pass at the end of the day, Joe, you become an official member of the Pigott family and on the WhatsApp. Is that okay with you, Joe? Okay? Okay. So we don't want you to fail, Joe. We're not going to let you fail, Joe. But I've got a few questions for you here. And this brings back memories of Aisling to me and maybe to a lot of you. But it also just helps us to understand whether Joe is worthy of the Pigott name. So, Joe, here's question number one. Are you ready for this? Okay. Okay. Do you want to take a drink first? Yeah. Okay. Okay. You need a bigger one than that. Okay. So Joe... Now, some of these questions are really hard, so I'm not expecting you to get them all right, okay? Okay, so this is the first question. Do you know what was Aisling's first word? And I'm going to help you here. I'm going to give you 4 answers. Was it dada? Was it mama? Was it fish? Or was it chips? Those are your options. What do you think, Joe?
I think it was the second option.
Mama.
I think so.
It was mama. Does anybody know? Oh, Aisling knows. Aisling, what was your first word?
Fish.
Fish. Fish, that's right. Do you remember where it was, Aisling?
No.
You don't?
You don't even like fish.
Karen, do you remember where it was?
Yeah.
Where was it? Seattle. We were going around the aquarium in Seattle, and Aisling was about 0. And we were just, every tank we came to along, we said, fish. Fish. And by the end of the day, she was saying fish. So that was her first word. You didn't know that, did you? Oh, there you go. Okay. Well, it's okay. It doesn't exclude you. It's all right, Joe. It's all right. It's just a memory. Okay.
How many does he need to get?
He needs. Now, the supercomputer will tell at the end whether he's passed or not, Aisling. We're not going to go there just yet. Okay. So let's not get too analytical about it. So question number 2. What phobia did Aisling have growing up? Are you aware of any phobias Aisling had? Okay, number 1. Was it feet? Was it couscous? Was it animals? Or was it all of the above?
I'm going with all of the above.
He's right! So... Aisling, I still can't quite work out the couscous thing. What was the problem with that?
She was scared of the word, not the actual food.
This is the word. So, if I remember correctly, you had a way of getting around saying the word. What was it? You can't remember? Karen, can you remember? Tara, can you remember? Cheek. She called it cheek. Oh, yeah. She was about 4. Okay.
No, she wasn't there. She was about 12.
Joe, At the age of 7, Aisling in school they were doing gifts. It was a Christian head teacher actually, and the Christian head teacher was encouraging the staff to think about their gifts. Not the staff, the children to think about the gifts, and Aisling said her gift was one of these things. Which was it? Did she say it was counting money? Did she say it was dancing? Did she say it was feeding the ducks or feeding people?
Did she say feeding the ducks?
Aisling, can you remember?
Counting money.
Yeah. Which is ironic because she doesn't have any at all, really. So I'm sorry, Joe, you didn't quite get that one right. Joe, question number 4. And let me tell you, you are this close to getting into the Pigott family. This close, okay? At the age of 8, what secret society did Aisling join? Was it Mensa? Was it the Terrible Twos? Was it the RSPCA? Or was it the Pasta Club?
Was it the Terrible Twos?
Joanna?
It's actually called the Terrific
Yeah.
Twos.
Was it really? Oh, sorry, I got that wrong. It was the Terrific Two, which had 2 members, Joanna and Joanna, would you like to share with us how that was formed?
We were in France and we found this like weird shed thing, I think, and we just sat in it and we were like, we're gonna form a secret club. I think we tried to make up a secret language as well at one point, and we mainly just sat together and read My Secret Unicorn, and that was what the club was. And we jumped off the bed with fairy dust and pretended that we were fairies.
What a club. I want to join that club. That was a great club. I'm sorry for getting the terrible two, the Terrific Twos. I should have known. Sorry. But there, another question for you, Joe, then. And you got that one right, by the way. So I think that's looking good for you, Joe. I just say, I'm not promising anything, but it's looking good. Aisling, we were invited to Aisling's school parents' evening. And all of Aisling's work was put up on the wall. And we were surprised to see up there a piece called My Dad on the wall. And it was very interesting to read about Aisling's dad on the wall. On that piece, she had written, my dad's favourite song is... Did she say Dancing Queen? Did she say... Oh dear, I can't do this. Did she say Tragedy? Did she say Wind the Bobbin Up or God Save the Queen? What did she say?
Did she say Tragedy?
She definitely said Tragedy, yes.
I knew it!
I made like a PowerPoint presentation about Dad, and the backing track to it was
Oh dear, 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 dear. Thanks for that, Aisling. Okay, I got one final one, and the supercomputer is flashing green here, which looks pretty good. I got one final one here. Okay, what does Aisling's name mean? Does it mean a vision?
No, my brother, I think he does need options.
Does it mean a vision? Does it mean fiery? Does it mean a tortoise? Or does it mean graceful?
It means vision.
It does. Give that man a clap. Okay. I've just got to see what the supercomputer says now about your results. Joe Dickin, you have passed. Welcome to the Pigott family. Nev, admin, please assign Joe officially to the WhatsApp. Thank you very much. Well, that's
Always leave, Joe, anytime.
just press.
We've tried, Joe, they keep adding us back in.
Aisling, as parents, Karen and I had a vision for you. And that vision was simply that you would grow up to be a woman of God. And today we rejoice that we can just celebrate and acknowledge that that vision has come true as a woman of God. And we celebrate that. And we thank God today for that.
Yes.
He's answered our prayers in so many ways about you from the day you were born. And now for the two of you, as you go forward in life together, I'm reminded of some words that, Aisling, were spoken over you at your dedication by our good friend Kelvin. And he spoke these words over you, and he simply said, "The Lord bless you. The Lord keep you." And these are for both of you. Can I invite you all, please, just to take a drink in your hand, to stand, and we shall toast the bride and groom, Aisling and Joe. Aisling and Joe. Cheers.
Thank you so much for having me over in not even my home country, just and for welcoming me, and and that's all been fantastic for today. Thank you so much for all of you who have helped set up, and all of you who have done different jobs for today, because I know that there's been so much, and actually it's been such a relief for me and Aisling with just having like 5 weeks to plan a wedding and a honeymoon and finish decorating our new house together, all while still doing uni work and all of that stuff. We've had it very full on, and so to be able to look to my future family and realise that we are perfectly able to ask such high, like, to put on a wedding reception is like a ridiculous. Come on. To set up a wedding reception is such like a crazy high thing to ask, and it's like, I know that so many families, it's like, what, you're not gonna like help, but for us to be able to put that on you guys and be able to just say, like, look, we're relaxing, you guys are making calls that you definitely didn't expect to be making for my and Aisling's wedding, certainly at the start of the year. We're so incredibly grateful for that. And I don't know all of the specifics of what different people have done, which is so telling as to how much you guys have had to put in terms of planning and district, that I don't even know exactly who's done what. And that's so exciting for me, because that kind of amazing serving, but more so that love, that's the kind of family that I'm being invited into. Hopefully, if Nev adds me to the... So yeah, thank you so much for that. That is, like, I can't express how much that means to me and how important that is to me, that family is so foundational for us, that we're both building blocks. And I said the same thing on Thursday to my own family, but that we look at both sides, and it's like, actually, you guys have, you set great examples of family, and we're so excited to carry that forward, and we're so excited to now own that ourselves. It's not often that people are delivering this speech, having lived a married life for a couple of days. And I don't regret it thus far, It's been lovely. We've had such a great time, and we're so fortunate to be able to have this as a second reception. Not least because we get people that we wouldn't have even had even without COVID. We've got Leslie and Peggy, who probably wouldn't have been able to make it. Leanne and Dave, I know that you have got a very busy few months coming up. Let's leave it like that. But the fact that in the midst of everything that's going on in the world at the moment, we're able to come and share this day with everybody here, but share it with people that we wanted to share the day with, but didn't even think that we'd be able to. That's so special for us. And just to be able to be here is just phenomenal. Thank you. Thank you for having us. And thank you, Tom and Tara. I just want to say thank you for everything that you've done for both of me and Aisling, being the younger siblings. I know that we're tough acts to follow, so that's... No, but you guys have both been... you've been such important parts of our lives, obviously. But we've grown up with you guys, and it's weird for us to... Because for those of you who don't know, I've been out at uni for 5 years now, but actually for a couple of those years at least I've had Tom come to live with me, which there aren't many brothers who leave their family home and are still keen to live with each other. After 18 years we had the get out, but we still decided to go for that, and that's been fantastic, and it's sad to see the end of that. But thank you both of you, because it'll be weird for me not living with Tom. I know that it'll be weird for Aisling not living with Tara, even though she's had a year or two of that, and you keep on flying off around the world anyway. So I'm hoping that that's either with me or just going to be doing long distance marriage as well as. But thank you, Darryl and Karen, for everything that you've. Cried my way through this the other day, so I'm really trying not to. But no, thank you so much for everything that you've put into Aisling. I know that you've prayed rings around her, that you've just been fantastic parents to her, and that's reflected in so much of what Aisling does, her serving, her welcoming, her just so much of what she does is a real reflection of what you guys do, and that is so much of what I love in her, and therefore being able to go back to your guys' house and see that is so exciting, and I just really want to honour that, because that is so special to me. And like I said, family's so important to me, so to come into that with Aisling is like I'm so just overwhelmed with how amazing that is, and I'm just so grateful for you guys. Mum and Dad, thank you for showing me what family is, for making me sit at the dinner table, for making us eat together, for chatting to me openly and ask me questions about, how was my day at school, when I was like, I don't care about my day at school anymore, I'm home, let me go and watch TV or play whatever. I thank you that you have invested so much in me and Tom, and we're both so grateful for that, because that is that shaped who I am, and that's will continue to shape, and to be able to step into marriage and be able to take examples from both of our parents is not something that loads of people have. Loads of people are stepping in thinking, I want to do that differently, or I want to do that differently because my parents got that wrong. So to be able to put our foot forward together, to be able to put that foot forward together and say, you know what, we want to continue that because our parents got that right, they got that right. To be able to adventure together, carrying that, and hopefully still with you guys as well, if you let us come, to be able to do all of that going forwards is so amazing. So thank you. And Aisling, thank you to you. I need to remember at the end of this to toast Mrs. Dickin instead of Aisling Pigott, as I tried to do on Thursday. Still not quite used to it. but thank you for everything that you are. You, without a doubt, bring out the best in me. You. True. You smooth my sharp edges, and yeah, I know that you make me such a better person, and that you're just so special to me. I thank you for how loving and welcoming and such a great hostess, and you've got so many amazing gifts that I'm just drawn to, and yeah, and on top of that, as a little bonus on the side, you look absolutely stunning as well. And yeah, just thank you for everything that you've done in my life so far. So the fact that I get to spend the rest of it with you as well is just like such a treat. So yeah, thank you. If you'd all stand and raise a glass. To Aisling Dickin. Hey! Thank you.
Obviously, as these two have said, we've got to do this all before, but the fact that we can be over here and do it is just so special to us as well. I have to say, it's not just on my own behalf, but my mum and dad, or Andy and Sarah, if you've forgotten their names, because I know that I've forgotten all of your names. Yeah, we're so grateful that you've invited us, you guys, into your back garden, into your home today, for you guys for bringing us over here, and being so welcoming to us as we're here. Yeah, it looked very unlikely that anything like this would be possible to happen just a couple of months ago. And I'd just like to say, as Joe said, all these wedding plans have a certain timeline that they're supposed to go by and what gets done when. And I can safely say that on Wednesday morning, less than 24 hours before I asked him if everything was set, if everything was ready, Joe not only did not have a ring, but did not have a speech either, at all prepared. And somehow we're still here. So it seems to have gone all right. So thank you, everyone. I know Joe said it, I know Darryl said it, but thank you for making it happen here. And that's not just on my behalf, but that's on behalf of all 4, now 5 Dickins to say thank you for letting us here. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm the English Kean. I'm here today. No, but again, I've said these two, so I'm Tom in case you've forgotten my name. And I'm the younger brother and the best man. So that means I have sort of a joint honours today in getting to say that I know a lot more about Joe than the average best man would do. So it means that not only do I have a little bit of respect for Joe, but it means I also have a lot of, I don't really know how to say it, but a lot of, just think of what the opposite of respect is. I've not got a dictionary on me, but something like that. But it is, you know, I've said it again, but I'll say it. It's so nice to have a small wedding here, and the thing about a small wedding is that we've only got 1 bridesmaid. So that means we have to make a super big deal about her. So can we give Tara a round of applause? Because if there was a massive wedding, she'd get... don't want to leave these guys waiting any longer. But yeah, Tara, you deserve all the appreciation you're going to get, because I'm sure you've been just as amazing to Aisling as she could possibly want. So yeah, thank you. And thanks for me for being someone who, when all these guys get together, I can actually go and talk to, who's, you know, remotely interesting. But yeah, what can I tell you about Joe that you don't already know? Probably quite a lot, because you've, as he said on the way here, that he's only been over here 3 or 4 times. This is the 4th. Thank you, Joe. But I said to him not to put Lego or Star Wars in his speech, because given the opportunity, that is all he would talk about. One time he arranged a birthday party for himself that was a Star Wars movie marathon, where we watched 3 Star Wars films back to back. And I was like, great, love Star Wars, happy days. And then in the evening, he invited some friends over, a couple of drinks, just chill out in the garden. His birthday's in July, so it was a summer evening. And as soon as the films had finished, me and Aisling were there to host everyone as Aisling does so wonderfully, give everyone drinks, and as soon as the film finished, Joe went up and went to bed and fell asleep. So I'm really hoping that as soon as I finish speaking, Joe doesn't go and do that. I hope he stays to socialise with all of you lot. And the other thing that Joe does is he gets in a real strop about things that really don't matter. And Aisling, you're going to have to deal with this in the future. But we once had a barbecue, not us, but with loads of Aisling and Joe's friends. Again, Aisling just inviting everyone into her home. Had a massive barbecue with people, and Joe got in the biggest of all strops. Lads, don't ever do this. Whenever you get girlfriends, don't ever just go and have a strop at their houses. It doesn't go well. And he had the biggest of all strops because the team he was supporting did not win a football game. And I'm not being funny, for about half an hour, he did not talk to anyone. He didn't say a word. And this is about 6 months into him and Aisling going out. So it's like already a little bit. Aisling, thank you for staying by. Thank you for taking him away.
Now going on honeymoon to that very country.
Yeah. Yeah, it was when England beat Iceland, which doesn't quite... Iceland beat England, which I don't need to say because you guys will all cheer for that, whereas there's only be 4 of us upset. But I was about to try and make a joke about what have Ireland won, but England haven't won anything either, so it doesn't really matter. But Joe, despite in having the most talented, intelligent and handsome younger brother on the planet, you've dealt with a lot that you've had to get through. And I know that a lot of you may not know the massive details, you might know some, you might know nothing, but Joe is 4 years into doing a medicine degree and has had a lot of health issues along the way that he's had to deal with, that me coming out of the end of my 3-year degree thinking if I had anything else at all would have walked away and been done with it. And the fact that you are still there now, 1 year away from 1 year. 1 year from being a doctor. I don't quite know why they let you do that. But the fact that you're there and you've fought through. And I was speaking to Darryl about football earlier. If you watch Joe play football, it might not look the most impressive, it might not look that graceful, but one thing he will do is that he will just fight and fight and fight until, from the first minute to the last. And whether that's the same with your medicine degree and everything else you've done with your life, then what a great trait that is. So congratulations to you. 1 more year to go. I'm sure Aisling will be cheering you on every step of the way, as everyone around here will be, and everyone who was there on Thursday will be. And Aisling, I've got a sister. I've had a sister for 3 days. However much Joe might behave like a sister, I finally got one. Sorry, that was just for my own amusement. But from what these two have said, and being as fortunate as to being the same friendship group as these two have been in, and knowing all of Aisling's friends, and now meeting all of Aisling's family, no one has ever found anything negative to say about Aisling. She is just amazing. She is so hospitable. Even when Joe and Aisling were in their early stages, I felt more than welcomed in Aisling's company and felt like it wasn't even, oh, this is my brother's girlfriend, this is all a bit weird. So hospitable and so amazing. And I've worked hard these last few years. I have found something negative to say about Aisling. But all that is that it is her taste in men. Cheap dig. It's good going after, because then he can't come back. It's great. But I'm proud of you both. I mean, as Joe sort of alluded to a minute ago, long distance and uni and health and all of that, like, so proud of you guys. I know that most people would not deal with it in the same way that you guys have done in just getting through. I mean, here we are today. So that's as testament as anything could be. So yeah, I'm sorry for you guys that you've had to listen to me twice say the same thing. I have tried to find 2 different sets of nice things to say about Joe. I've struggled very greatly. But I left my drink over there, so I'm going to pretend. But if we can all stand, and for the final time in the week, we've done it 6 times, because you guys are doubly special. But if we can please raise a glass to Mr. and Mrs. Dickin.
Well done, Tom.